Welcome to my channel. Have you ever felt like your English is stuck, even after watching videos, reading books, or learning grammar rules? I know the feeling. I've been there. But I want to tell you something powerful. I learned how to speak English fluently without a classroom, without a teacher, and without leaving my home. Just me, a phone, and a daily habit that changed everything. If you're learning English alone, this story is for you. Stay till the end, because I'm going to show you step by step how I practiced English when I had no partner, no teacher, and no confidence, and how you can do it too. Chapter 1. The First Realization. When I first started learning English, I thought I was doing pretty well. I could read simple books. I could watch English videos with subtitles. I even understood many words in movies. And honestly, I believed I was ready. I thought, yes, I know English. I can speak it too. But then something happened that changed everything. One day, a friend asked me a very simple question in English. It was something like, "What did you do yesterday?" And in that moment, I froze. My brain understood the question. I knew every word, but my mouth? It didn't move. I smiled awkwardly, hoping my silence didn't look too strange. I felt like I was stuck. I couldn't say anything, and that's when it hit me. I didn't actually know how to speak English. I knew about English. But that wasn't the same. That moment, that one question, opened my eyes. After that experience, I started noticing something strange. Whenever I tried to speak English, my brain would first create the sentence in my native language. Then it would try to translate it into English. Then I would try to speak it. But by the time the words reached my mouth, the moment was gone. I had already lost confidence. And even if the words came out, they didn't always come out right. I still remember one time I wanted to say, "I will meet you tomorrow," but instead, I said, "I will meet you, Cal." And Cal was from my native language. It means tomorrow. So I mixed English with my own language without even realizing it. My friend laughed. I laughed too. But inside, I felt a little embarrassed. Not because of the mistake, but because I didn't even notice I had made it until it was too late. Another time, I was at a small shop. I wanted to ask the shopkeeper, "Do you have cold water?" But what I actually said was, "You have water cold?" It was a small sentence, very basic, but even that felt like climbing a mountain. The shopkeeper smiled politely and gave me the bottle, but I could tell he knew I wasn't confident in English. And that's when I started asking myself, why is this so hard? It wasn't that I didn't know the words. I knew the vocabulary. I had learned grammar in school. I could even write okay sentences. But the moment I had to speak, everything changed. My mouth didn't follow my brain. My sentences felt slow, broken, and unsure. That's when I realized the truth. Knowing English is not the same as speaking English. It's just like riding a bicycle. You can read about it. You can watch videos of other people riding. You can know the names of all the parts. But until you actually get on the bicycle and start pedaling, you don't know how it feels. You'll probably fall the first few times. Not because you didn't study enough, but because your body isn't trained yet. Speaking English is the same. Your mouth needs practice, just like your legs need practice to ride a bike. So instead of blaming myself, I started thinking differently. I told myself, okay, I do know English. My brain understands it, but my mouth doesn't have practice. And if practice is the problem, then maybe I can fix it. But still, I had one big problem. Where would I practice? I didn't have English-speaking friends. My family didn't speak English at home. I didn't feel confident enough to talk to strangers in English. And I didn't want to join an English class because I was scared people would laugh if I made mistakes. So for a few days, I just did nothing. I kept thinking and thinking, but I didn't know where to start. Then, one day, I saw a video. In that video, someone shared a small idea. It was simple, so simple that I almost didn't take it seriously. But when I tried it, something started to change. Slowly, quietly, but definitely. My mouth started moving more easily. My brain and my tongue started working together. The fear of speaking slowly began to disappear. And all of this happened without a teacher, without a classroom, and without a speaking partner. In the next chapter, I'll tell you exactly what that method was. It's free, it's simple, and you can start using it right after this video. If you've ever been scared to speak English, or if your brain understands English, but your mouth refuses to cooperate, then what I'm going to share next might be the most helpful habit you've ever tried. Get ready, because in Chapter 2, I'm going to show you how talking to yourself can make you speak like you've been practicing with a real partner all along. Chapter 2. Talking to myself. After I realized that my biggest problem wasn't vocabulary or grammar but lack of speaking practice, I started searching for a solution. I wanted to speak English, but I had no one to speak with. No partner, no teacher, no group, just me. So I asked myself, what can I do with only myself? And then, I remembered something I had seen in a short video. The idea of talking to yourself in English. At first, it sounded a little strange. I thought, talk to myself? How will that help? There's no one to listen, no one to correct me. But very soon I understood. That was the best part. No one to judge me. No one to interrupt me. No one to laugh at my mistakes. I could make all the errors in the world, and no one would know. It was just me and my words, and that made me feel free. So I began. I started with the simplest things. I would walk around my room and say things like, I am folding my clothes. This is my red shirt. I will make tea now. At first it felt a little funny. My mouth wasn't used to saying full English sentences out loud. I was slow. I paused a lot. But I didn't stop. Every day I talked to myself about my routine, brushing my teeth, making breakfast, cleaning my room. Every action had a sentence. Every movement became a little speaking practice. Soon, I started taking this practice outside. If I was walking to the store, I'd look around and describe what I saw in English, but in a low voice. The road is busy today. That shop sells vegetables. The weather is hot. But here's the problem. When you talk to yourself outside, people look at you. And let's be honest, nobody wants to look crazy in public, right? So I found a simple and funny trick. I took an old pair of earphones, they didn't even work, and I put them in my ears. Now, whenever I spoke in English, people thought I was just talking on the phone. It was the perfect cover. I could speak freely without feeling shy or embarrassed. I even started enjoying it. One day, I was walking down the street pretending I was on a call. I was saying things like, "Yes, I agree with your plan," and "That's a great idea for the project." Just random business-like phrases. And then a man walking by smiled and said, "Your English is very good." I smiled back and said, "Thank you." But inside, I was laughing. Because the truth was, I wasn't talking to anyone at all. I was just practicing. That moment gave me a new kind of confidence. I realized that I didn't need anyone else to improve my English. I didn't need a classroom, a partner, or an audience. I could become my own teacher and my own student. And the more I spoke out loud, even to myself, the faster my brain and mouth started working together. And here's something important. You don't have to speak full paragraphs to begin with. Start small. Describe what you're doing. Talk about the weather. Comment on what you see. This is a blue pen. I am writing now. My room is a little messy today. That's it. That's all you need. These small sentences are your daily workout. And over time, they become full conversations. You train your tongue, your confidence, and your thinking speed without anyone else in the room. It's also important to understand the psychological relief this gives you. When you speak to yourself, there's no pressure. You don't worry about mistakes. You don't care about grammar. You just speak. That freedom lets you practice more often and more naturally. Another thing I noticed, the more I talked to myself, the more English became a part of my normal day. It wasn't just something I studied, it was something I lived. English was no longer a school subject. It was my second voice. I would even make up small stories. I am going to the market. I will buy some apples and oranges. Then I will come home and make juice. Sometimes I even added emotions. I am feeling tired today. This food tastes so good. I don't want to clean, but I have to. All of these little sentences gave me real speaking practice every single day, without fear, without shame, without waiting for someone else. And you can do this too. You don't need anything special. Just start using your voice in English when no one is watching. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. In the next chapter, I'll tell you how I made an even deeper change. I stopped just speaking English, and I started thinking in English. That step took my fluency to a whole new level. Because when your thoughts begin in English, your words come out faster and smoother than ever before. Get ready for Chapter 3. It's all about training your brain to live in English. Chapter 3. Thinking in English. When I first began speaking English by myself, I noticed a strange pattern. I could say simple sentences, describe my actions, even tell little stories. But still, something was slowing me down. I didn't understand why I was still pausing so much. Why did I feel tired after speaking just for a few minutes? Why did the words come out slowly, even though I knew them? And then one day, I caught myself doing something automatically, something that was creating all the problems. Every time I wanted to say something in English, my brain was doing this. Step 1. Think the sentence in my native language. Step 2. Translate each word into English. Step 3. Try to arrange those words into the correct sentence. Step 4. Finally, speak it out loud. Now imagine doing all of that for every sentence. No wonder I was slow. I was carrying a heavy translation bag in my head, and I didn't even realize it. That's when I had a big realization. If you can't think in English, you'll never speak fast and fluently. It's not enough to know English. You have to process the world in English, directly. So I decided to train my brain to stop translating. I said to myself, from now on, I will think in English, not just speak it. At first, it was difficult. My brain was stubborn. I would start thinking in English, then switch back to my language without even noticing. But I knew this was the key to fluency, so I kept going. The first thing I did was make a simple rule. Whenever I see something, I will name it in English. So I walked around and thought, chair, wall, fan, window, bag, table, pen, shirt, shoes. Every object I looked at, I gave it an English name in my mind. No sentences, just words. I was building fast connections between things and English labels. My brain was starting to stop using my native language as a middle step. Then I made it a bit more challenging. I started describing things in short English phrases silently in my head. The fan is spinning, the curtain is moving, the boy is laughing, the road is empty. Again, no speaking out loud, just thinking in English. Every moment became practice. But the real game changer came when I invented something I called the 5-in-it game. Yes, 5-in-it is not a real word, but I like it because it sounds fun and silly. The idea was simple. For 5 minutes, I had to keep thinking in English, non-stop. I would look around my room or go for a walk and describe everything in my head. This is my water bottle. It is half full. The color is blue. I am feeling a little tired. There's a sound outside. I think it's a dog. The first time I tried this, I couldn't even last 1 minute. My brain ran out of words quickly, but I didn't give up. I kept playing this game every day. By the end of the first week, I could go for 3 minutes without stopping. After 2 weeks, I could complete the full 5 minutes. And something amazing started happening. I began to think in English without trying. It just happened naturally. One morning, I woke up and thought, what time is it? In English, not in my native language. I smiled because that was the moment I knew my brain was changing. The real beauty of this exercise is that you don't need extra time. You don't have to sit down and study. You can play the 5-in-it game while walking, cooking, cleaning, even waiting for the bus. It turns your normal life into language practice. And here's something interesting I noticed. The more I thought in English, the easier it was to speak. Because my brain was already in English mode, the words came out faster, smoother, and with less hesitation. It's like sports. Imagine a football player thinking before every move. Okay, now I will run, then I will pass, Now I will kick. He'll be too slow. But if he trains enough, his body just moves automatically. That's what thinking in English does for your speaking. It removes the delay. It removes the translation traffic jam in your brain. Also, it helps you develop what I call an active English mindset. Before, my English was passive. I could understand, but I couldn't respond quickly. After thinking in English every day, my English became active. My brain was ready to use the language, not just recognize it. So if you're serious about fluency, don't just study English. Start living in English, in your head. Describe your world, your emotions, your plans, your actions, all in English, even if it's just in your thoughts. Remember, speaking begins with thinking. If your thoughts are in your language, your English will always feel like a second step. But if your thoughts start in English, your speech becomes fast, natural, and confident. In the next chapter, I'll show you how I used listening to improve my speaking. Because the truth is, the way you listen to English changes how well you speak it. I'll tell you how I fed my brain English all day long, even while relaxing, eating, or doing nothing. That's coming up in Chapter 4, and it's where your environment becomes your teacher. Chapter 4, Feeding My Brain English. All day. One of the biggest myths in language learning is this: to speak better, you just need to speak more. Well, that's partly true, but what most people forget is this: speaking is the result of listening. A lot of listening. If you never feed your brain English, you're asking it to produce something it rarely sees or hears. That's the realization that changed everything for me. I wasn't just going to practice English a few minutes a day. I was going to live in it. From the moment I woke up to the moment I slept, I wanted my brain swimming in English. And guess what? You don't need to travel to an English-speaking country to do this. It started with one small change. I switched my phone's language to English, and suddenly, every day became a little English lesson. Instead of nastroyki, settings, I saw settings. Instead of soobshenia, I saw messages. It was strange at first, even a little frustrating, but after a few days I got used to it. And not just used to it. I started thinking in those English words. Then came the cooking videos. I was trying to find fun content in English, not just grammar videos. So I searched, how to make pancakes. And boom, I discovered a whole world of YouTubers casually cooking and talking at the same time. Now we're going to add just a pinch of salt. This part is super important, so don't skip it. You guys, look at this fluffy texture. It's insane. Wait, insane? I heard that word so often that I started saying it too. That's insane. Not because I studied it, just because my brain had heard it 100 times. That's when I realized, if you hear enough real native English, your brain will start copying it automatically. Shadowing. The weirdest, most powerful tool, I tried something called the shadowing method. Here's how it works. 1. Play a video or audio in English. 2. Listen to a sentence. 3. Immediately repeat it with the same tone, rhythm, and pronunciation. At first I sounded robotic, then slowly, I started sounding more natural. I even surprised myself sometimes. Like, wait, did I just say that like a native speaker? Shadowing improved two big things: pronunciation, fluency. Because when you copy native rhythm and intonation, you stop speaking like a textbook. You start sounding like a real person. And here's the crazy part. You don't need to understand every word. Your brain is still learning, still adapting. Input equals output. The more I listened, the easier it became to speak. I stopped saying weird, robotic things like, "I will meet you, Cal." That's a real sentence I once said. I meant to say, "I'll meet you in Calcutta." Instead, I started copying natural phrases I had heard hundreds of times. "Let's catch up later." "I'll swing by after lunch." That works for me. I didn't memorize these from a book. I absorbed them like a baby hears language from their parents, because input fuels output. The more you hear, the more you can say. Everyday English, all day long. Here's how I created immersion without leaving my home. Phone language, English, YouTube content, vlogs, cooking, travel, daily life, not just study videos. Podcasts, while walking, cleaning, relaxing. Music, singing along, badly but confidently. Subtitles, English subtitles on, so my ears and eyes worked together. Background English. Sometimes I just played English videos while doing chores, not watching, just letting my brain absorb. Slowly, I stopped studying English. I started living in it. A powerful idea to remember. Listening is speaking in disguise. If you're not ready to speak yet, don't panic. Just start listening more. Listening builds your brain's English database, and when the time comes to speak, you'll have the words, sounds, and rhythm already inside you. So, if you're learning alone, make English part of your world. Don't wait for the perfect speaking partner. Turn your life into an English-rich environment. Surround yourself with it, and your brain will do the rest. In the next chapter, I'll show you how I use that environment to build real speaking habits, the exact daily system I followed to go from silence to confidence. Because input is the foundation, but daily output is what makes you fluent. Stay with me. It gets even better from here. Chapter 5. Recording myself every day. If talking to myself helped me start speaking, recording myself is what made me actually get better. It's funny, most people are afraid to speak English in front of others. But when I hit the record button on my phone for the first time, I realized something surprising. I was scared to speak even when I was completely alone. My first recording, a total disaster. I remember it clearly. I sat in my room, opened my camera app, smiled at the screen, and said, "Nothing." I froze. My mind went completely blank. I stared at the camera for 20 seconds and just laughed awkwardly. Wait, I thought I knew English. Why can't I say anything? That was the moment I understood. It's not about grammar. It's about performance. Speaking out loud is a skill, and like any skill, you have to train it. funny day versus sunny day. On day 2, I finally said a few sentences. I tried describing the weather. Today is a very funny day. I watched the video back and laughed at myself. Funny day? Really? I meant to say sunny day. But here's the thing. If I hadn't recorded myself, I wouldn't have noticed that mistake, and I definitely would have said it again in the future. That's when I learned this truth. Recording yourself is like having a teacher, and the teacher is you. The mirror effect. When you watch your own videos, you see everything clearly. Words you repeat too often, like, sentences that don't make sense, awkward body language or poor pronunciation, long pauses or filler sounds, No one needs to correct you. Your brain does it automatically. It's like seeing your reflection in a mirror. The mistakes become obvious, and once you see them, you can fix them. My confidence started growing. The first few videos were rough, but I kept going. Every day I would open my front camera and talk for just 1 to 2 minutes. Topics were simple. What I did today, what I'm planning tomorrow, my favorite food, movie, city, how I feel. No script, no grammar book, just talking. At first, I watched my videos and cringed. Then I started noticing improvements. Fewer pauses, better pronunciation, smoother sentences, and most importantly, I felt less nervous. Because here's a secret. If you can speak confidently to your phone, you'll speak more confidently to real people. The feedback loop that changed everything. I developed a simple, powerful habit. 1. Record myself for 1 to 2 minutes every day. 2. Watch the video, even if it's painful. Notice 1 to 2 things to improve. 4. Try again the next day. This became my private training ground. No pressure, no judgment, no teacher needed. And this feedback loop, record, watch, improve, was more powerful than any class I had ever taken. Real practice. Real progress. Most learners wait for a speaking partner, or they wait for perfect grammar. But the truth is, you don't need permission to practice speaking. You have a camera. You have your voice. That's enough. By recording yourself, you practice daily performance under light pressure. Create a record of your progress. Train your brain to organize thoughts quickly in English. Build natural confidence, not fake classroom confidence. What you can do today. Here's a challenge. Take out your phone. Set a timer for 2 minutes. Talk about what you did today in English. Don't stop, don't overthink. Then, watch it. Yes, it might be awkward. Yes, you'll make mistakes. But if you do this every day for 30 days, you'll be shocked at your progress. In the next chapter, I'll show you how I turned this daily recording habit into a real system. One that helped me stay consistent even on hard days. Because confidence doesn't come from one perfect moment. It comes from small, messy, daily practice. Chapter 6. Mixing all habits into one routine. By this point, I had a few strong habits. Talking to myself, thinking in English, watching and shadowing native speakers, recording and reviewing my speech. But I had one big problem. My practice was random. Some days I'd only talk to myself. Other days I'd just watch videos. Sometimes I skipped everything. I needed a system, something short, simple, and repeatable. So I created one. And it changed everything. The 15-minute daily routine. After weeks of trial and error, I built this routine that combined all the habits into one session. 1. Self-talk minutes. I'd describe what I'm doing, thinking, or feeling. No script, no preparation, just speak freely to warm up my brain. 2. Thinking in English, 3 minutes. Silently describe everything around me. People, objects, sounds, actions. If I forgot a word, I'd try to explain it in English, not my native language. 3. Shadowing, 5 minutes. I'd play a short YouTube video, vlog, podcast, cooking show, whatever I liked. Then I'd repeat after the speaker, copying rhythm, pronunciation, and tone. It felt like a real conversation. 4. Recording, 4 minutes. Finally, I'd turn on my front camera and talk. Topic, anything I wanted. Then I'd watch it back, notice mistakes, and move on. Just 15 minutes. But it touched every skill. Speaking, listening, thinking, pronunciation, self-feedback. And the best part? I could do it anywhere. Home, park, cafe. Doesn't matter. Some days I did the routine in my bedroom. Other days in the park with fake earphones. Once, I even whispered the entire routine in a quiet cafe. It was flexible, private, portable, no schedule, no teacher, just me. The point wasn't perfection, it was consistency. The 3-month explosion. After just a few weeks of doing this routine every day, I noticed my sentences came out faster. I stopped translating in my head. I was shadowing native pronunciation more naturally. I sounded less robotic, more confident. But the biggest change came at the 3-month mark. I was at a coffee shop. A tourist asked me for directions, and I answered smoothly. No panic, no grammar checking, just speaking. A few weeks later, a co-worker said, "Your English sounds really good now. Did you take classes?" Nope, no classes. Just 15 minutes a day, every day. Emotional reward. Finally. Feeling fluent. Fluency isn't a magic switch. It's a quiet, growing confidence. It's when people stop asking, "Do you speak English?" and start speaking to you like a native. That's the reward of a simple daily system. How you can build your own fluency routine. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Set a 15-minute timer. You can use your phone, your watch, or an app. Step 2. Break it into 4 parts. 3 minutes to self-talk. 3 minutes to think in English. Describe silently. 5 minutes to shadowing a short video. 4 minutes. Record yourself and review. Step 3. Do it every day, anywhere. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need native pronunciation. You just need one thing: daily action. Final thought. Fluency isn't a goal you reach. It's a routine you live. 15 minutes a day changed everything for me. And if you follow this simple system, it can change everything for you too. In the next chapter, I'll show you how I stayed consistent when I wanted to quit. Because let's be honest, the hard part isn't starting. It's staying with it when life gets busy. Let's talk about that next. Now that you've seen the exact steps I followed to practice English alone, I want you to try it too. You don't need a teacher. You don't need a classroom. You don't even need a perfect plan. All you need is your voice, your thoughts, and a few minutes a day. Start talking to yourself. Start thinking in English. Start recording, even if it feels awkward. Start shadowing speakers you admire. And most importantly, build your own routine, brick by brick. Because if I could do it alone, with just a phone and some discipline, you can do it too. If this video helped you, hit that like button. Comment below with your favorite tip or what you'll try first. Subscribe so we can keep growing and improving together. Let's make English your second nature. See you in the next video. Hi.